So hello, on this channel we talk about independent spirituality and folk magic for free spirits. My name is Aster. I am a Brazilian folk witchcraft practitioner, astrologer, and tarot reader. And in today's video, we are going to talk about a marvelous book written by a marvelous author, which is Financial Sorcery by Jason Miller. By far, my favorite occult author of all time. So recently, I've been doing something. I have been revisiting my notes on my Trello page. For those of you who don't know, Trello is an organization, app, and website that I've been using since I was in university, at least for 5 years. I'm not sponsored, by the way, I wish, but I really like this app and I think everybody should discover about it. If you like organization, Trello is great. But I have been revisiting my Trello annotations from when I started my YouTube channel because I have noticed that I've written down many things and I didn't get around to filming many of those things, and one of them is a review of Financial Sorcery. So I've read this book or at least I took notes about it in 2022. I also got that video being a witch in the city, that it was like the last video I've published, I think, or the one before, I'm not sure, but either way, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it up here and down in the description. That's also an older idea that I had at the beginning of my channel, and for some reason I didn't film it. But yeah, today we are going to talk about Financial Sorcery, not only the book, but also the concept of money magic a little bit, and some like ins and outs of that kind of thing. I really like it, how it starts on the cover already. Magical strategies to create real and lasting wealth. Here's the difference. Here's what makes this book stand out to begin with from the cover in itself. This book is not promising some quick fix, some quick solution for a financial problem that you may be having today. It is offering a way for you to build something that is solid and will last over time. So this is not about emergency magic and a quick fix to your financial problems. This is about mindset, first of all, financial education even, but also witchcraft. It says here that Financial Sorcery was the second book by Jason Miller that I've read. I think when it comes to money magic in general, it is very common for us to see not only books, but also content on the internet offering magical solutions, you know, like things will be fixed overnight or something, and things like with the wildest promises and short-sighted solutions that can fix a little something, a little inconvenient, but it doesn't really build anything on top of it, and you might even have the same problems over and over again, you see. But in my opinion, what sets this book apart from any other book about money magic that I have read so far is that he starts the book introducing you to a whole new perspective around money. How do you deal with money? Do you really understand how money works? Do you? Because money is a mundane thing. It's a human invention. So you cannot expect to be able to dominate money and create wealth if you don't even understand the basic concepts that revolve around money. How to make it, how to keep it, how to invest, how to make it grow, how to make it work for you. So what I love the most about this book is that it is not going to give you some recipe with all the answers for your financial problems. Rather, it is going to make you think about the way that you deal with money and the choices you've made in your life, how all of that impacts your financial life. So this is like a reconstruction from the inside out, and not just a band-aid that you are going to put on top of something and hope that it will get better. I also really appreciate how Jason points at the way that money magic is more often than not used as an emergency fix, an emergency quick fix to some kind of problem. It's not money magic most of the time as we see it out there. It's not really seen as something to be done from the ground up and built over time, but rather just a quick solution for something happening now and that you need to fix like now. And that issue will probably happen again if bigger problems that are behind that little issue aren't fixed, if you see what I mean. And by the way, there's a book that I would recommend you read if you haven't already. It's a book that has a little bit of, it's like in a way kinda like reading a fairy tale of sorts, but through the story, the characters, they really teach you a lot, and I have learned a lot about money and finance and whatnot through the text, which is The Richest Man of Babylon. I have mentioned this book on my Patreon page in a video about books that I was reading. That book is kind of simple and it seems like it's not really doing anything, but it is. So if you want to have a little bit better of an understanding about money, how to deal with it and how it works, I definitely recommend you to read The Richest Man of Babylon. There's some like timeless wisdom in that story. And I think that when it comes to money, first we need to think about the mundane before the magical. So before you pick up financial sorcery, which I do recommend you do at some point, I will recommend you to start with The Richest Man of Babylon. I could recommend some other like financial things, but The Richest Man of Babylon is a great beginning. It's a great starting point. Now, speaking of points, there is a chapter in this book that I loved, which is the set point. It's chapter 6. On this part of the book, it talks about how every single thing makes us who we are and set our belief system. From the food you ate growing up, to who your parents were, what they did for work, how they dealt with money, who were your friends at school and what their parents did, to who you hang out with and like where you live today. All of that combined sets who you are and what you believe that you are capable of or not. So often you will see me, especially on Patreon videos, you will see me talking about how hard it is to be an immigrant, to be somewhere else and whatnot. Yes, there are many hardships in it, but I don't fully regret coming over to Europe because I think it has elevated my surroundings, my environment. I am surrounded by rich culture. I have learned one more language. I am in a region which is like Île-de-France, the region in which Paris is located. This is such a culturally rich place. Everybody is running after something. Every person that I meet, they have dreams, big aspirations. They want to be musicians, they want to be actors, actresses, singers. They are pursuing a meaningful career, and that does something to you, that puts things into perspective to you and makes you inspired to do something similar, if that makes sense. Whereas back home at my hometown, it was the complete opposite. We were in that little valley town where the only thing you had for work were like bakeries and pharmacies, and people had this like single narrow-minded vision about things and the world and life, and what everybody does is go to school, get a job at the bakery or the city hall or a pharmacy or a shoe store, and meet somebody, get married, have a kid, and that's it. And I always looked around and asked myself, is that it for life and existence? I refuse to conform to this. I'm packing and I'm leaving. Bye. And yes, it is hard to be abroad, to be this courageous, crazy woman. But the rewards are as great as the hardships. And over here, I feel inspired. I feel like that there's a fire under my butt that keeps me moving forward. So yeah, all of that is story time to say that environment matters. Usually people say out there that we become an average of the 5 people we hang out with the most, and that's definitely true. Tell me, like in Brazil we have a saying, diga-me com quem andas, que te direi quem és. Tell me who you hang out with, and I'm gonna tell you who you are, pretty much. So So yeah, you become, and in French there's something similar also. Tu deviens ce que tu côtoies, something like this. So you become those who are next to you, kinda. That's kind of the translation. So environment, friendships, connections, relationships, the immediate surroundings, they can make you or break you. All of those things, they are extremely important. And Jason talks about that in this book when it comes to absolutely everything, from what girl you think you can date, to what job and what income you believe you can have, or even what you believe that you deserve or not. All of that is based on how you grow up and the reality surrounding you. Once something conditions your behaviors and your beliefs, it is extremely difficult to break away, to break free from those things, and to walk the opposite path. So the fact that Jason talks about, I mean, if you pick up this book, you might be expecting a list of spells and, you know, throw some bay leaves and cinnamon in there and there you go. But no, that's not what this book is here for. This book is here to make you think, to make you look within and reevaluate many things in your life in a way that it all comes down to finance, to wealth, to money. And in this book, you will actually find even solid advice on how to kill debt and how to manage money. Things that should be taught at school, but nobody teaches us. Okay, so where's the sorcery? You might ask me. I'll tell you. So in this book, Jason combines the mundane, the material, with magical practices that you can combine with those things, like to enhance and achieve your desires for prosperity, abundance, and money. Like something that he wisely says on page 99. Let me find it. First comes the working, then comes the work. So what does he mean by that? Okay, first you are going to infuse whatever it is that you're doing professionally, I don't know, what you are working towards, you are going to infuse it with magical properties, with rituals, with sigils, with whatever it is, your jam, you know, your magical jam for financial witchcraft. You are going to infuse it in your path, in your activity, and then you are going to work your ass off to achieve that goal. So you're going to be doing like both things. It serves no purpose to go and light a yellow candle and do a whole ass ritual and just sit on your couch in front of the TV watching Netflix. It will serve no fucking purpose. So first you do the working, you go and you light your yellow candle and all the rituals that you want to perform, but then you're gonna go and work your ass off to combine magical and mundane. Nothing can change if you don't start actual steps into the real world, you know? Go take a look at your CV, update it, apply for jobs. You can always do something better. Don't get stuck in a comfort zone. You can do better, okay? But it all starts with actions, not with just performing a spell and wishing for things. You have to go out there, put your face in the sun, and make the difference for yourself, because the difference will not be made for you. You have to get your butt out, you know, out there on the street and do something for yourself. You cannot sit back and expect magic to do all the work for you, because that's not gonna happen. Those things, they walk hand in hand, and you must do your part. And throughout this book, Jason makes it perfectly clear for the reader that you have to combine both things. And plus, at the end of every chapter, there are extra resources to help you take actionable steps towards your goals. So you will find things like other books, websites, and apps that will help you to get your financial life together. I would say that this book is the perfect combination. It is like a definition of magic and mundane, combining magical and mundane. I love it. I believe that every practitioner, every witch should read this book, because it is a common issue within spiritual people to have financial problems, to have financial struggles. So I believe personally that many people, they become so focused on the spiritual that they forget about the mundane and the material reality of things. And it is important to be reminded that we are living in a material material world, and I am a material girl. Yes! Okay, today I was wearing nothing but a smile on my face, the way that God intended, and I hope that this wasn't too distracting or something. Tell me in the comments, what are you gonna do to change your financial life, to turn things around? I wanna know. Tell me down below. And remember, practice makes perfect. So let's get witching and get wealthy. See you next time.